I didn't know any of that was gonna happen. Don't, please! He made us do it!
Please don't hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
The movie opens with Jimmy Cullen arriving at a junkyard to meet his informant. There, he retrieves his car, a gun, and documents about a man named Prescott Ashton. Using this information, Cullen tracks Prescott to his office and kills him. Prescott's death quickly catches the attention of two FBI agents, Humphreys and Cicero, who begin investigating the string of mysterious murders. Meanwhile, Cullen continues hunting down the next targets from the informant's list, unaware that a mysterious assassin has been hired to find and eliminate him. At the FBI office, Agent Cicero uncovers a videotape revealing Cullen's true identity. She informs Humphreys that Cullen and his brother were once involved in a bank robbery. The plan went smoothly at first, but they were betrayed. Another gang ambushed and tortured the brothers, trying to force them to reveal where the stolen money was hidden. When the gang threatened to kill them, Gary, Cullen's brother, believed it was just a bluff and stopped Cullen from revealing the hiding place. Fearing for his brother's life, Cullen gave in and told them. Moments later, the gang Prescott, Nixon, and Kenneth Tyson slit Gary's throat and shot Cullen, leaving him critically wounded. The doctors declared him dead, but he miraculously survived after surgery, during which a metal plate was implanted in his skull to repair the gunshot injury. Cicero believes Cullen is avenging his brother's death, fulfilling his vow to kill everyone involved. As she recounts the story to Humphreys, Cullen tracks down his next target, Kenneth Tyson, and shoots him just before he can record a kidnapped girl on video.
I didn't know any of that was gonna happen. Don't, please! He made us do it!
Please don't hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
As Cullen leaves the apartment, Killer, the man who has been shadowing him, tries to attack, but Cullen quickly notices and reacts in time. The two exchange heavy gunfire, but Cullen manages to escape, leaving Killer furious. Meanwhile, Detective Humphreys visits his girlfriend, who scolds him for neglecting his son and insists he take the boy to a basketball game. On the way there, Cicero calls to inform him that Kenneth has been killed and orders him to head straight to the crime scene. When Humphreys arrives at the scene, he discovers that Kenneth had recorded several personal videos and was about to do the same with the kidnapped girl. During the investigation, Cicero reports that a witness saw another gunman exchanging fire with Cullen in the hallway, but no further details are known. After failing to kill Cullen, Killer angrily confides everything to his girlfriend, Lily. She comforts him, saying he will catch Cullen eventually, and her words move him so much that he proposes to her. The next day, at the FBI office, Cicero notices the scars on Humphreys' arms and suspects he once used drugs. Humphreys avoids the question and instead tells her about his girlfriend, Maria. Soon after, Humphreys admits he once used drugs, but insists he quit after his son was born. Meanwhile, having eliminated all his targets, Cullen visits his former girlfriend, Nan Porterman. He discovers that she is now married and living a new life. When he asks about their unborn child, Nan reveals she had an abortion because he had forbidden her from visiting him while he was in prison. Heartbroken by Nan's revelation, Cullen leaves her house, though she promises to support his quest for revenge. Meanwhile, Killer marries Lily. During their celebration, he expresses his desire to leave his old life behind and start fresh with her. At the same time, Cullen prepares to strike his next target, Nixon. At the nightclub, Cullen realizes that Nixon is the man who killed his brother. When Nixon heads to the restroom, Cullen follows and lies in wait. After dismissing the guards, Nixon decides to confront him. A brutal fight breaks out, and Cullen stabs Nixon to death before escaping. As he leaves, he calls Nixon's son and reveals the truth about his father. Meanwhile, Killer decides to quit his job, but remains haunted by his unfinished mission. Unable to resist, he starts planning to hunt down Cullen. When Lily finds out, she tries to stop him, fearing for his safety, but Killer ignores her pleas and leaves anyway. The next morning, both Killer and the police prepare for their missions. Humphreys calls Cicero to report the stabbing and expresses his suspicion that Cullen is responsible. Although Cicero disagrees, Humphreys decides to visit the scene to find out if Cullen is involved. At the same time, both Humphreys and Cullen learn that Nixon is still alive and being treated at a nearby hospital. Cullen remembers the moment Nixon killed his brother and heads to the hospital to take revenge. Anticipating this, Humphreys arrives as well to keep watch over Nixon. Soon after, Cullen breaks in and shoots Nixon dead during surgery. Hearing the gunfire, Humphreys gives chase and confronts Cullen in the basement. The two exchange gunfire. But when Cullen sees Humphreys' police badge, he stops and walks away. On his way back, Cullen receives a call from Nixon's son, who asks if he was the one who killed his father. When Cullen admits it, the young man becomes enraged and vows to take revenge. Cullen doesn't try to stop him, simply telling him to do what he believes is right. During the call, Cullen realizes that Killer is nearby, having tracked his latest location. Moments later, a tense car chase begins. It ends when Cullen's tire bursts, and Killer shoots him in the neck. Cullen survives once again, driving Killer into a rage and fueling his vow to kill him at any cost. He calls his informant to report in, but is reminded to finish the mission as soon as possible. After escaping from Killer, Cullen returns home and points his gun at his mother, demanding the truth about his father. He believes his father betrayed them after the bank robbery when he was denied a share of the money. However, his mother insists that his father died before the robbery took place. Cullen recalls that he never intended to join the heist, but when the driver backed out at the last minute, he volunteered to take his place to help his brother Gary. Out of love and loyalty, he joined the robbery only to lose the brother he cared for most. While looking through old family photos, Cullen recognizes Maria, Gary's ex-girlfriend, and realizes she was the one who betrayed them, not his father. He picks up Gary's urn and sets out to find her. As he leaves the house, echoes of lessons about right and wrong still linger in his mind. Meanwhile, Humphreys returns to the office and receives praise for nearly catching Cullen at the hospital. Cicero explains that the gang involved in Gary's death were small-time criminals with no record of serious offenses. At the same time, Cullen begins hunting down his final target, Alexander Jared. When he tracks him down, he discovers that Jared has become a pastor and immediately recognizes him. After everyone left, Jared told Cullen that all his past sermons had been about him, and Cullen admitted he had listened to them all. Jared took him for a walk and revealed that he had adopted a boy. However, Cullen believed that couldn't erase his past sins. Jared insisted that although he had been part of the gang, he never knew about the plan to kill Gary and had even tried to stop it, but in the end, he couldn't save the boy. He explained that he had only been hired as a guard and never knew who was behind the crime. Later, he was arrested and sent to prison, but that time changed him. He abandoned his criminal past and devoted himself to helping others to atone for his sins. Moved by his repentance, Cullen forgave him, spared his life, and told him to return to his family. As Cullen sat alone at the camp, Killer suddenly appeared, intending to kill him. At the same time, Detective Humphreys arrived and called Cicero, saying he would handle the chase himself. Although Cicero urged him to wait for backup, Humphreys refused, fearing the two men would kill each other before he could step in. Inside, Killer saw his name on the list and realized his revenge was almost complete. Yet one name remained: the person who had hired him to kill Cullen. Something Cullen knew nothing about. When the two men confronted each other, Humphreys suddenly appeared, pointing his gun at Killer and forcing him to surrender. Moments later, Humphreys shot Cullen, revealing that he was the last man connected to Gary's murder. Cullen couldn't see clearly, but Killer, who had never met Humphreys before, recognized him as the one who had hired him. Humphreys admitted he had suspected everything since the day he let Cullen go at the hospital. He revealed that Gary's girlfriend was the one who had tipped Humphreys off about the bank robbery. Humphreys offered him payment, but he refused, feeling unworthy since he hadn't finished the job. Before leaving, he told Humphreys not to contact him again. Later, he called Lily, saying he could finally come home now that everything was over. On her way to assist Humphreys, Cicero discovered that he had known about Cullen since the very beginning of the case. She called her superior to confirm the assignment and learned that Humphreys had volunteered for the investigation rather than being appointed. Soon after, once cleared of suspicion, Humphreys called Maria and said he wanted to start over with her. While Humphreys was talking to Maria, Cullen suddenly appeared and shot him in the head. He survived thanks to a metal plate that protected him. Later, the FBI arrived and found Humphreys' body. Cicero chose to hide her involvement in the case. Cullen took Gary's ashes to the ocean, scattered them over the water, and quietly drove away as Jared began his sermon about forgiveness.